everybody, I'm Kelly Hogan, and welcome back to my Zero Carb Life. I have with me three group members today who say that they have something they want to share. And to me, reading in a book about why sugar is bad, looking at research of what carbs do to our body, that's all great. Hearing from real people who say, this is what I felt before, this is what I did, and now I feel better, to me is the most powerful thing. Ladies, thank you so much for coming here to share. I'm grateful for you. So, Gwendolyn, tell us your story.
A few years ago, but I guess that's really when my story started. I went to the grocery store and there was somebody handing out a flyer asking for food donations, right? So I go into the store, I get a few cans of what they're asking for, give it to them. And on my way home, at every single intersection, I'm just hearing this, turn back, go back, go back, right? I finally get home and I go to my husband. I'm like, now let me back up. I'm atheist at the time. And so I go to my Christian husband and I'm like, something's happening. And I'm like, is this like what you guys talk about, like the Holy Ghost or the Spirit? Like, I don't know what this is, right? And he's kind of grinning at me. So I get distracted. I make dinner. I go to take dinner to my daughter who's working in a retail store that night. I'd forgotten about it. I walk in and the woman from the grocery store with the flyers standing there, my daughter's work. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. It's a lot of people in my town. This is not normal. So the next morning I go to the grocery store. There's another guy standing there with flyers. I grab the flyer. I fill the whole cart with food, like multiples of everything they asked for. I walk out and I said, this is all for you, right? And then I'm like listening and I'm still hearing it's about the food. It's about the food. And I'm like, I don't get this. So we're in the process of moving to Arkansas. I start donating money to the food bank here in Arkansas where I'm about to move. It's about the food, but it doesn't go away. And I'm like, I don't understand what this is. We moved to Arkansas. We clear trees. We bring in soil. I set up a vegetable garden. I plant the vegetable garden, and I'm still hearing it. It's about the food. So this is like for 2 years, right? So, and I'm saying now by this time I'm doing Bible study. I am a Christian woman, right? I have totally, like, the Spirit is in me. I don't know what this message is yet, but there is a screaming message in my head. So I randomly, I go to the doctor. They want to put me on yet another heart medication. So now I'm on 3 heart medications.
Oh.
And something my father said to me, which was, can you be on this medication for 50 years? Because in our family, we live to be 100, right, in that area. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, I can't be on these medications for 50 years. My poor organs, can't handle this stuff. And they weren't even really working that well. So I had heard that the carnivore diet helped with hypertension.
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to try it. Now, the other part of this is at this point in time, I'm drinking a lot. Like I probably had at least a bottle of wine every night since I weaned my children, right? So I never, ever, ever thought I could do anything like this. I never tried to diet. I never tried. And I thought, okay, I'm going to try 28 days. I'm going to white knuckle my way through this. And at least at the end of 1 week, I'll be 25% of the way done. I can do hard things and I can do anything for a short amount of time. So that was my goal. So it was really hard to start. I started 3 days in, I wake up, nothing hurts, right? And I go, hold on. And I'm not even having cravings for alcohol, right?
Yeah.
And that blew my mind, right? So 2 weeks in, I turned to my husband and I'm like, there's something else going on here that I feel metabolically like I'm changing deep, deep, deep. So anyway, fast forward, by the end of the 28 days, I've already, I'm in. I'm 100% in. I am not stopping. This was April of 2024 that I started.
Yes.
So I know all the normal stuff that heals with people, so I won't go over that. But I did eventually get rid of my hypertension. It took 6 months, so it took a long time.
It's awesome.
I realized that I really thought that I think I was drinking wine for the sugar. I honestly don't even think it was an alcohol thing. I think it was just liquid sugar, And so once I cracked that sugar. I have no desire to drink, which I never thought would ever happen.
So I do think a lot of people turn to alcohol at the end of the day because they are craving an energy hit, and we can get that from
Mm.
fat or sugar, right?
Mhm.
And even though alcohol is, a downer in the moment, it can feel like it's giving you some energy because it is calories, right? You're
Mhm.
getting some calories from it. But I have heard many people report, just like you, that actually making ketones, being in ketosis,
Mhm.
eliminates the desire for alcohol.
I
So,
believe it.
yeah,
Mhm.
so you're not alone. Your brain is getting this extra source of energy, and suddenly it's like, you know what? I don't need that anymore. Some people report the same with coffee. I cannot report the same with coffee, but I don't drink. I haven't had any caffeine in months.
Mm.
But, for most of my carnivore journey, I was. So I can't say that being in ketosis got rid of coffee. But I think it's fantastic that for you and other people as well, that it suddenly they don't need the alcohol.
It shocked me pleasantly.
Yes.
Anyway, so I got rid of the hypertension. I got rid of SVTs, which is supraventricular tachycardias, which I'd had heart surgery to fix, and it grew back, and I never thought that could be fixed. That's gone away. Um, I had at one point, my skin completely changed. And you guys that are carnivores, like, you know how many skin changes you go through. It's ridiculous. But one of them was old scars, like old incisions from surgeries. I don't have a gallbladder, piercings and stuff. Everything it started weeping again and then re-healing. And at the end of it, some of my scars are completely gone. I can't even find them anymore. It blew my mind. I'm like, I don't even understand what's happening. Anyway, I had a bunion. My bunion went away. I was to the point where I was going to go, podiatrist and be like, okay, this is going to have to be dealt with. It's
Yes.
slightly there, but I know it's there. But it's like the pain is gone. I had to throw away my shoes because I didn't fit anymore. And then I'm 53 now, so hot flashes are that would steam up my glasses. Hot flashes,
Oh,
totally gone. I haven't had that happen since carnivore. And I think at the end of it, really, I have this very deep sense of peace and joy that I was always a happy person, but it's so deep in me. And all I keep thinking is God created us as beings to feel this joy.
yes.
And I get to feel it now. And I feel so blessed. So that's my story.
Gwendolyn, y'all, I invited Gwendolyn here to talk about the bunion. I did not even know the rest of the stories. All I heard one day in the meeting, we kick off our group meetings most every week with who has an update, something they want to share. And I was listening and celebrating. I think you had also mentioned the racing heart issue. And I was like, that's amazing. But you had me at bunion. I've never had one, but one of my closest family members has had bunions for decades. Painful, told by doctors there's nothing to do except a surgery, which very often, he told her, creates sometimes more problems than it solves.
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard you say that, I thought, no way, it got rid of a bunion? Or at least you don't feel anything now, and it's actually smaller, and now your shoes don't even fit. That is wild. Well, I didn't know the amazing origin story here, Gwendolyn. That's so amazing. So you have the joy of the Lord and the peace of carnivore.
I mean, really, what more could I have or want?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What an amazing story. I'm sort of soaking it all in. I'll probably have more questions later. All right, so you mostly eat beef?
Yeah, so now I know why it's about the food, right? That, by the way, that went away. I know it now.
Oh, that
right?
voice.
That voice went away. I'm like, I found it. Okay, I get it. It's hurting us.
Yes.
Yeah, so we eat, I eat bacon and eggs every day for breakfast, every morning, a ton.
Yeah.
And then, I usually have beef at night. And my husband hunts, so we have a lot of venison on hand, so that's good. We're clearing land right now so that I can raise my own cattle. So I'll have my own, steak. And then we've got chickens for our eggs. So that's pretty much it. And then I do, to be creative, because my husband switched to carnivore 6 months into my journey, also stopped drinking. And to keep things interesting, I try to create a new dish that's interesting like once a week. So
Okay. I like
Mhm.
it. Well, I just finished recording with Courtney Luna, who has
Mhm.
one of the best carnivore cookbooks
Mhm.
possibly available. So if any of you are thinking, well, what more could you do? It's meat, right? Oh, she's got options, right? There are a
Yeah,
lot of
and
options.
that's why, and I have a YouTube channel with recipes so that people who are looking for something different, can try different things. So, and Courtney's also, she's fantastic. I've got her cookbook right
Gwendolyn,
now.
I didn't know you've got a recipe YouTube channel. Okay,
Hmm.
I'm going to go watch it when this ends. I am excited. I will link to it below.
Well,
Tell
thank
us
you.
what's the name of your channel?
Country Carnivore.
Country Carnivore.
Mhm.
I feel like I maybe have seen that pop up on my feed. Well, I'm going to pay a lot more attention now, and I hope the rest of you will too. With a story like that, we should all be going to watch. Thank you very much, Gwendolyn. I appreciate it. And I'm so happy for you and your husband.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, next up, we have Robin. Hi, friend. So, what brought you to carnivore and what's it done for you?
So, a little bit of my backstory. I did 20 years in the Air Force, Air National Guard, and a little bit of a human pinprick experiment, getting all of the shots, whether you wanted them or not, as a lovely souvenir when I was pregnant. And about 13 years ago, my immune system just went haywire because of a shot I had to get while I was 6 weeks pregnant. And I attributed all of these issues to the pregnancy. I'm like, oh, the baby doesn't like everything because everything I ate started making me sick. And
Mm.
so I worked very hard to find foods that I could eat without feeling sick. And it was very, very difficult. And I can't even list out all of my food allergies because it's dozens,
Oh,
multiple. I had an EpiPen, all of the things, and it was always having charcoal pills and slippery elm pills nearby because I never knew what I would eat would make me feel sick. And I was eating healthy, healthy. And the more I did deep dives, I learned about my body. I ended up going through like trauma healing, and I work with people who've had PTSD because trauma can physically affect your body, and it messes with your immune system, with your nervous system. And so now I walk people through trauma healing biblically. And I knew that there were some issues I dealt with as a woman in the military, growing up as a pastor's daughter, and all of those things where I had carried trauma with me that were exacerbated by military service and all of the health issues that came with that. And so I was always working and trying to feel better,
yeah.
take the right supplements, eat the right foods. And I had come to a place where I was surviving, not fully thriving, but I had figured it out. I kind of knew what to stay away from. And I'm like, I've tried everything else for my health. And then I turned 42 and all of these other weird things like perimenopausal symptoms were happening. And so I'm like, okay, I'm not going to deal with that and this. And so I just thought, let's try carnivore. I've tried all of it. And it wasn't necessarily about weight loss, although I was going to be very happy if my clothes fit a little bit better and not going to be sad if I lost 10 to 15 pounds. And so I'm now on day 71 of carnivore. One of the foods I was the most allergic to were eggs. Like I had an EpiPen and I've been to the hospital for accidentally ingesting eggs in the last decade.
My
What
God.
I've had for breakfast the past few weeks, scrambled eggs. I am no longer allergic to these foods. A lot of them were fruits and vegetables, so I don't miss those. But I used to pray, like, God, if I can have just one of these on my list healed, it would be eggs. I would love to eat eggs again. And now I'm enjoying them for breakfast, and it is incredible. I also lost 10 pounds over the 71 days. For me, it was mostly just the health benefits. So in addition to losing the egg allergy and having some clearer skin, I'm sleeping better,
Oh,
and those perimenopausal symptoms that I thought, well, this is my life now, those also went by the wayside. My mental clarity is on a level that it hasn't been before. Like I know what it's like to be mentally strung out or be on military deployments, and all you do is have caffeine and you don't really sleep. But the mental clarity I have. I'm also an author, Christian author and speaker, and I wrote 2 books in the last less than 90 days while on carnivore because my mind is just firing and wiring in ways that it would take me a lot longer before. Like they're both out, and it's just incredible. And it's not like I'm losing sleep or I'm working. It's just what's happening in my mind is so crystal clear that I'm able to do more with it. So better sleep, better energy, better overall health. And I'm just so confident in God's healing power because I know that this isn't a gift that you've given me, these allergies. I know that we live in a fallen world. I know that we deal with stuff. I know that food can make us sick, but I also know that food can make us healthy. And so I prayed a lot all through this journey, and I am walking out in that health. And I'm physically so much better. Used to, when I was in the military, if we would have to go for training or somewhere, I would pack an extra suitcase of foods, usually like processed, packaged protein bars that I knew at least these won't make me sick, even if they're not superbly healthy. They were plant-based. And so in 2 days, I'm actually going to leave to do flood response in Texas. And all I'm packing is some tuna fish and meat sticks. And I know that's all I need. And my body will be so happy with that, and some bone broth packets. Yes. I speak at conferences, I write books, I do these things with all of this mental clarity and energy that I did not have before. And I'm so confident in the healing that God has given my body through this carnivore journey that I know that I can go do strenuous activity and not deal with what I used to deal with. And in the past, that was shortness of breath, heart palpitations. When I was 25 and dealing with all of the issues, I had a neurologist, I had a cardiologist, and now at 42, I'm healthier. And it's wonderful. So I'm just so grateful for all of your encouragement in the midst of this, because the world will tell us this doesn't make sense. You shouldn't try this. It's dangerous. But I can say confidently in my own body, I feel different. I don't feel sick from it. I feel so healthy, and I'm living proof that it's okay to take this leap and to make this journey and this change, and that small, smart choices lead to big victories over time.
Oh, Robin, my gosh, woman. Well, first of all, thank you for what you're about to go do in Texas. I'm sure everybody watching, our hearts have just been aching for what they're going through. So thank you for that. And also, thank you for throwing a lifeline right now to the people who are having food allergies, people who have no idea that in 70 some days, 71 days, they could feel like a different person. You've been busy over there, babe. I'm going to link to your books also. I had no idea. Would you hold them up for us? I'll post a picture as well. I love it. Yeah, you've been busy. I can't wait to check those out. And I'm just so thankful that you came here to share what has allowed you to let God work through you, given you the mental clarity to allow him to now use you. And I
usually write 2 books a year. This was 2 books in 2 months. Wow. Just the mental clarity is so different. It's not like I have an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old son. So it's not like they just left me alone for weeks on end to write, but I'm just able to do more with what I have.
Awesome. Thank you, Robin. It's good stuff. I love it. Our final guest today is Elizabeth, and I have heard some of her story, but I'm sure I don't know it all. I'm excited to hear more. Hey, Elizabeth.
Hello, Kelly. I was just delighted to be asked to share our story here today, because it's been quite a journey for us. In my children, both of my children have juvenile arthritis, and they were diagnosed at the ages of, my oldest one was 2.5, and then my youngest one was 16 months. They have both been on medication their entire lives, and their arthritis would hit them so badly that they wouldn't be able to walk, right? They wouldn't be able to walk. They wouldn't be able to move their arms. It depends on their flare up, right? Of how hard everything hit. In 2022, October of 2022, my oldest child, or my youngest child, sorry, was 16 years old at the time, and she was experiencing her 3rd massive flare-up. We had to take her off of her methotrexate at one point in time because it was damaging her liver. It was also having issues with her menstrual cycle. It was making it so that she wasn't getting her menstrual cycle. And so we were like, kind of like, well, we're just waiting for the next medication kind of thing, right? And she came to us and she begged us. And she had been watching you, she had been watching Michaela Peterson, and she begged us and she said, Mom, please, please let me just try this, Mom. Like, let me try it. And I said, you're insane. You cannot live without fruits and vegetables. I'm like, I know you can live without the carbohydrates. That wasn't a big deal. But we said, okay, we'll let you do it for 2 weeks. And that's it, because there's no way. Within those 2 weeks, her flare, sorry, I'm going to start crying. Her flare started to go down. And we were like, what the heck is happening here? So when her flare was starting to go down, we were like, there has to be something to this. This is incredible.
Yeah.
My husband, who gets right on into something, he started researching it. January 1st of 2023, we all went carnivore. And all 4 of us. And so it was so exciting. And we thought, well, we'll do this for 30 days. 30 days was then we realized, oh, that's not going to be enough. So we were doing it for 6 weeks, and then we were going to do it for another 6 weeks. And then we were going to do it for another 6 weeks. And then we were like, well, heck, we're just going to continue doing this as long as we need to do it. Within that time, of course, both girls, like all of us, like, right? So shrunk. We lost over 100 pounds, like all of us in total. My husband, who is a police officer, he had thought, well, I'm just going to continue to gain weight. And I guess the aches and pains are normal. And, me too, I'm going into menopause. And we just kind of thought this was normal. And here we are now, 2 years later, 2.5 years, almost going into 3. Through those years, of course, we've had all of the fantastic benefits of carnivore, right? The aches and pains are gone. The digestive issues are gone. My oldest daughter went away to college for 2 years within this time, and she was off of her ADHD medication because her brain was clear. She had better grades than she had ever had in her life. It was absolutely incredible. Allison, my youngest, who was told that she would always be on medication. It was December of 2023. We went in and the doctor once again had checked her liver enzymes and said, well, okay, we have 2 options of medication. Which one are you going to do? And she said, you know what? I trust carnivore and I trust that this is going to work for me. And we said, okay, let's just do it. We're doing it. No medication. You're going to be off all of your medications. We're going to see how this goes. And in a couple of months later, she strutted into, because she struts, she doesn't walk. She struts into the doctor's office, and the pediatric rheumatologist looked at her and said, oh, so which medication did you choose? And she said, none. I didn't take any. And she sat back and she went, there's no way. She's like, you're walking. And she's like, you've never been able to last without medication. And Allison's like, carnivore, right? And and it was just the most beautiful thing. And so here she is now, 1.5 years or more, a little bit more. She has been med-free. Which is just extraordinary. The doctor, during that time that she had her, we saw her another 2 times, and she didn't want to let Allison go because she wanted to see how it was going and how it was progressing. And she's like, there have to be more studies. And I looked at her and said, there are things happening. You just don't get to hear about them. But it was just the most amazing thing. So it's just been, there's always more stories, and we've been sharing, like I found Lord while being in carnivore. And so has my husband. In January of this past year, he found the Lord, which was so exciting to us. And And so we've joked, we're like, we're like these two C's. We're either talking about God or we're talking about carnivore, and we're sharing the word, whichever one. And so, at our church, we've had a bunch of other people that are now doing carnivore. A bunch of our friends have done carnivore. It's been life changing. We're looking forward to our futures and keep on sharing the word of meat.
Oh my word. I feel like I've got three kindred spirits here, sisters. I'm so tickled to hear this. So, Elizabeth, I have three kids, and I'm sure there are a lot of moms watching. There is nothing worse than watching your baby suffer, especially if there's nothing to do about it. To know that you can now watch them move and feel better and know that they aren't doing it with something that's going to hurt their liver. They're doing it with something that's going to help their liver.
I know as a parent, just desperate for something, for a change for my kids. It's been a life-changing journey, and I've been so excited to join one of your groups, Kelly.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for sharing. I very much hope that somebody is watching who is maybe you're at wit's end. You don't know what to do for your kids. You don't know what to do for your own joint pain, arthritis, mental health struggles, brain fog, hormonal issues, thyroid issues, or even just weight, whatever it is. If you have desperation right now, honestly, it's an amazing place to be because it may actually inspire you to change. We all had to get a little bit desperate, right? It's the ones who just stay miserable without that desperation. Desperation plus hope that these ladies have brought, you're cooking with fire, right? Because you want the change and you have genuine hope on what could do it. So I encourage anyone watching, please watch this again if you want. Share it with somebody who could benefit and help spread the word that we don't have to stay sick and desperate and watching our children suffer, that there is a solution. So thank you all so much for sharing. And if anybody would like to join us in the groups, we would love to have you. So, hi, everybody. Thank you. I had no idea y'all were going to be that good.